Today we'll discuss transfer function to state variable. Transfer function to state variable. Now the case one. Transfer function without zero. That means transfer function does not have any zero. All right. Let us consider one example. Problem number one. Find the SB representation. Find the SB representation of the system whose transfer function is gs equal to 10 by s to the power 5 plus 4 by s to the power 4 plus 6s cube plus 12s square plus 10s plus 9. Find the state variable representation of the system whose transfer function is given by this. Okay. Now look, the system does not have any zero. You know zero. You know poles. Poles. You know the poles means the solution of the denominator polynomial, whereas zero means the solution of the numerator polynomial. That means if we equate the denominator polynomial to zero, we'll get the solution. They will get the a's value. Those values are called the poles. On the other hand, if we equate the numerator polynomial to zero and solve for a, the corresponding value of s are known as the zeros. That means poles are the roots of the denominator and zeros are the roots of the numerator of the transfer function. Right? Now, since here this system doesn't have any zero, okay. So let us discuss how to convert this transfer function into state variable form. All right. No doubt থাকলে জিজ্ঞাসা করবে without any hesitation. Solution. Now we know transfer function means output, that is ys by input. That means ys by us is the transfer function which is equal to 10 by s to the power 5 plus 4s to the power 4 plus 6s cube plus 12s square plus 10s plus 9. All right. Now cross multiplying. To cross multiply, we will get s to the power 5 ys plus 4s to the power 4 ys plus 6s cube ys plus 12s square ys plus 10s ys plus 9ys is equal to 10us. All right. ভুল করেছি কি কিছু? Is it all right? Now taking the Laplace inverse. So if you take Laplace inverse, so s to the power 5 ys is basically y5. All right, because we know Laplace transform of df dt, if there is no initial condition, since there is no initial because we are discussing transfer function, so this is sfs. We know that means Laplace inverse of sfs is ft. Okay. Similarly, if we have d2f dt2, its Laplace transform is s square fs, assuming that there is no initial condition. Okay. So s square fs means d2f d2. That means Laplace inverse of s to the power 5 it will be the fifth derivative of y. So this will be fourth derivative of y. This will be third derivative of y plus 12 d2y d2 plus 10 dy dt plus 9 y is equal to 10 ut. Now, what is yn signifies here? Here, here, yn means nth derivative of y. Okay. All right. Now we have the differential equation. Now we know, if we know the differential equation, we can easily represent it in state variable form. Now the differential equation we have is y5 plus 4y4 plus 6y3 9 6y3 6y3 12y2 plus 10y1 10y1 plus 9y is equal to 10 ut. Now we'll keep the highest derivative, we know, we in the left hand side. So therefore y5 is equal to minus 9y minus 10y1 minus 12y2 minus 6y3 minus 4y4 plus 10 ut. All right. So this is the here we are rewriting the differential equation, keeping the highest derivative in the left hand side. Now we'll assume the variable. Let x1 equal to y, x2 equal to y1, x3 equal to y2. That is the second derivative. Okay, if you have problem, then you can write it dy dt 2y dt 2 d3y dt3 dy4 dt4. Okay, so x3 equal to this, x4 equal to y, x4 equal to y3. Okay, this is x1, x2, x3, x4, and x5. x5 equal to y4. All right, and you know this is u and this is the output is y. All right, so that means now write x1 dot, x1 dot means y1, y1 is x2, x2 dot means y1 dot, y1 dot means y2, y2 means x3, x3 dot is y3, y3 means x4, x4 dot is x5, and x5 dot is equal to y5, y4 dot means y5, that is minus 9x1 minus 10x2 minus 12x3 minus 6x4 minus 4x5 plus 10u. All right, this is x5 dot. Clear? So now to write this 5 equation, so fifth order equation becomes a first order, 5 number of first order equation. Now we'll write this 5 equation in matrix form. All right, let us write this 5 equation in matrix form. So x1 dot, x2 dot, x3 dot, x4 dot, x5 dot. x1 dot equal to x2, x1 dot equal to x2. Okay, x1 dot, x1 dot equal to x2, x2 dot equal to x3, x3 dot equal to x4, x4 dot equal to x5, x5 dot equal to y5. y5 means 9x1 minus 10x2 minus 12x3 minus 6x4 minus 4x5 plus 10u. x5 is 10u. So that means this is 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 u. This u. Okay, and y equal to solution, solving this we will get y. y
স্যার
equal 1, হ্যাঁ বলো
স্যার ওইটা 10 হবে না?
কোনটা বলো, 9x
ওই স্যার
10 হবে।
ওই যে হ্যাঁ।
Okay. y equal to x1. Y equal to x1 means 1 0 0 0 0 x1 x2 x3 x4 x5. Okay, so this is the output equation. This is the state variable equation, state equation. So these two are the state variable equation. All right, now look at the transfer function carefully. This is minus 9, 9, 10, 12, 6, 4. Look at here, minus 9, minus 10, minus 12, minus 4. And all the diagonals is called the super diagonals. This is the diagonal, and then above this is called the super diagonal. Look, the super diagonals are 1, and all diagonals are 0. Only we have the last row having some value. The value, look at the value carefully, is minus 9, minus 10, minus 12, minus 6, minus 4. দেখতে পাচ্ছ? And the super diagonals are 1. All right, so this is the way when there is no 0 in the system. তাহলে একটা এক্সাম্পল আমি তাহলে এটা বল, পরেরটা যদি থাকে, find the state variable representation of 5 by s cube plus 3s square plus 6s plus 10. Find the state variable representation of the given system. Okay, দেখো ওকে, তোমরা করবে, আমি তোমাদের আনসারটা বলতে বলছি, তোমার বলো কি হবে আনসার উইদাউট সলভিং, কেমন কি হবে আনসার, কে বলবে? আরে বলো, সাকিব তোদের 70-70 পেয়েছো, কি করে পেয়েছো ভগবান জানে, 3-4 জন 70-70 পেয়েছে, 80% ছেলে 90% মার্কস পেয়েছে সাকিব তোদের, তা বলো এগুলো, 80% ছেলে মানে অ্যাবাভ 80% পেয়েছে, বলো কি হবে আনসার, কে বলবে? কটা ভ্যারিয়েবল হবে, স্টেট ভ্যারিয়েবল কটা হবে, কটা হবে স্টেট ভ্যারিয়েবল, কটা? হ্যাঁ, তাহলে কি হবে, x1 ডট x2 ডট x3 ডট, তাই তো? ঠিক আছে, x1 ডট x2 ডট, তারপরে কি হবে বলো, এটা সুপার ডায়াগোনালস গুলো 1 হবে, তাই তো? তাহলে এটা তিনটে হবে, x1 x2 x3। তাহলে প্রথমে এটা x1 ডট ইকুয়াল টু x2 হবে, প্রথমে এটা হবে x2, তারপরে x2 ডট ইকুয়াল টু x3 হবে 0 0 1, আর লাস্টেটা কি হবে বলো, লাস্টটা
minus 10
মাইনাস
minus 6
মাইনাস
minus 3
প্লাস প্লাস এটা হবে কত, 0 0 8
0 10
5, এখানে 5 আছে, এটা 5 আছে,
5 আছে sorry
and y কি হবে, y y1 0 0
0 x2 x3
বুঝতে পারছো তো? So if we have a if the transfer function is given, we can easily find the state variable. We can easily find the state variable form. So best check whether the system has zeros or not. If there is no zero, we can easily find. Right? What happens if there is a zero? Okay, ভালো করে দেখে নাও প্রসিডিওরটা কি। So we'll assume that this is the output by input, then we cross multiply. The procedure is then we cross multiply, then we will take inverse Laplace transform. Okay, then we will get the differential equation. If you have problem in writing this, you write in this form. Okay, then we'll keep the highest order power in the left hand side and selecting the variable, you can find the step. Now case 2, if the system has একটা হোমওয়ার্ক করে নিও, আমি আনসার বলে দিয়েছি, আনসার তো ইজিলি বুঝতে পারবে। এনি সিস্টেম, you can find any system, 20 by say s to the power 4 3s cube plus 6s square plus 8s plus 9, ইজিলি বলতে পারবে what will be its state variable form, বলতে পারবে না, বলো ইজিলি পারবে, তাই তো? What will be its state variable form? So now we'll find the case 2, if the system has a 0. Case 2, transfer function with zeros. Again, it's a transfer function without zeros. Okay, let us go to the problem directly. Find the transfer function Find the state variable representation of the system. Find the state variable representation of the system whose transfer function is given by 4s cube plus 2s minus 1 by s to the power 4 plus 4s cube plus 3s square plus 2s plus 1. Now system has 0. There are 3 zeros. Okay. Now if we cross multiply, if we use our old technique, let us check what will be the problem if we check, if we use our old technique. That is, old technique was ys by us. This is not wrong technique. Let us check why it is not, why we are not able to proceed in the earlier manner. 4s cube plus 2x minus 1 by s to the power 4 plus 4s cube plus 3s square plus 2s plus 1. Okay. So if we cross multiply, so what will happen if we cross multiply? বলো cross multiply করে কত হবে? s to the power 4 ys plus 4s cube ys plus 3s square ys plus 2s ys plus ys is equal to 4s cube ys plus 2s ys minus, sorry, ys কেন লিখছি? তোমরা কেউ কিছু বলছো না,
স্যার ইউএস হবে।
তো বলবে তো আমাকে। us minus us, ঠিক আছে? So this is your now if you take the Laplace inverse transform, then it will be fourth derivative of y plus third derivative, this is third derivative of y, this is second derivative of y, first derivative of y, then the y is equal to 4. Look, third derivative of input. How will get third derivative of input? Input, we can analyze input, but it's third derivative. It is the third derivative of input. It is the first derivative of input. So we're not able to analyze this. If we use this, we'll able to express this term. There is no problem. We can select the appropriate variable, state variable. But how to implement this? We can implement input, but there is here you have to implement this. So we're not able to use this because we're getting the first derivative, second derivative, third derivative of input. All right. Then how to proceed? So we cannot use our old method, that is cross multiplying, right? So because we're getting that the derivative of the input, but in the expression we know x dot is equal to ax plus bu, okay, and y is equal to cx plus du. This is the here look, there is no derivative of input, simple input. Okay, so that means we cannot proceed this way. So then what is the solution? So so our transfer function is given. It is transfer function. Now the solution. Now the transfer function is, we know, output by input, which is equal to 4s cube plus 2s minus 1 divided by s to the power 4 plus 4s cube plus 3s square plus 2s plus 1. Okay, you cannot cross multiply. Then what to do? We'll introduce a third variable, zs. Zs by us into zs by us into ys by zs. All right. Okay, we introduce a new variable, zs, third variable. So we can write this as the reference side, zs by us into ys by zs is equal to 4s cube plus 2s minus 1 by s to the power 4 plus 4s cube plus 3s square plus 2s plus 1. All right. Now, in the first term, zs by us, we'll consider the denominator polynomial. That means we'll assume here ZS by US, we'll consider this as a denominator, that is 1 by this. Okay. Now we can easily represent this because we have already know there is no zeros in the system. There is no zeros. Okay. Let ZS by A equal to, we can easily implement because this is the system without any zeros. We can implement this. And YS by ZS is equal to 4S cube plus 2S minus 1. Okay, that means this portion will consider the denominator and this portion will consider numerator. Now we can do cross multiply using our old technique. This is case 1. So S to the power 4 ZS S to the power 4 ZS S to the power 4 ZS plus 4 S cube ZS plus 3 S square ZS plus 2 S ZS, okay, plus ZS is equal to US. Cross multiplying this, okay. So cross multiplying US in this form. So we can now taking the Laplace inverse transform. Laplace transformation would be the fourth derivative. This will be the fourth derivative of Z4 plus third derivative. All right. This will be the second derivative of Z and 2Z1 plus ZS. Okay, Z is equal to UT. Now, what is Zn here? Here, Zn signifies the nth derivative. Okay, nth derivative of Z. Nth derivative of Z. Okay. All right. Now we get this equation, so we can represent this equation in the state variable form. So we have Z4 plus 4Z3 plus 3Z2 plus 2Z1 3Z2 plus 2Z1 plus Z is equal to UT. Right? So this is the equation that is considering the denominator only. So what to do next? So Z to the power Z4 is equal to minus Z1 minus 2Z1 minus 3Z2 plus 4Z3 plus U. All right. This is the taking the highest of this power in the left hand side. So okay. So now select a variable. Now select the variable. কি ধরবো বলো তোমরা বলো কি ধরবো
স্যার ওটা মাইনাস 4Z3 হবে না?
মাইনাস করতে হবে বাহ ঠিক আছে মাইনাস alright now as you select the state variable x1 equal to z1 x2 equal to z2 x3 is equal to z3 x4 equal to z4 okay and x1 dot will be x2 x1 dot is z2 that is x2 dot is equal to z3 means x3 dot means z4 that is x4 and x4 dot is z4 dot z4 okay কি করলাম বলো তো z1 z2 z3 z1
এক্সপোর্টটা মনে হয় লাগতো না
না এক্সপোর্ট লাগবে হ্যাঁ এক্সপোর্ট কেন হ্যাঁ এক্সপোর্ট তো লাগবে আমি ভুল করেছি দেখো এটা z1 করেছে z হবে তো একটা জটা কোথায় গেছে বলো আমার তো ভুল হয়েছে এখানটাতে না বাবা এই জায়গাটাতে ভুল করেছি আমি আচ্ছা এই জায়গাটাতে আমি ভুল করেছি তোমরা লক্ষ্য করোনি দিস ইজ z আমি z1 লিখে ফেলেছি সো x1 equal to z x2 equal to z1 x3 equal to z2 and x4 equal to z3 so therefore x1 dot equal to x2 x2 dot equal to x3 x3 dot equal to x4 and x4 dot z3 dot that is Z4. Z4 means what? Z4 means minus x1 minus 2x2 minus 3x3 minus 4x4 plus 2. All right, this is x4 dot. So let us represent it in matrix form. X1 dot, x2 dot, x3 dot, x4 dot equal to কি হবে বলো, কি হবে বলো, কি হবে বলো? x1 dot equal to x2. x2 means 0 1 0 0. x2 dot
What is
equal to
0 0 0 0 1 0
0 0 1 0 0 0
0 0 0 1
0 1
minus 1
minus 1
okay.
minus
minus 2
2
minus 3 minus 4
minus 4 is
and then
equal
1
with the 1 হবে।
হয়ে গেল। So this is the state equation of the denominator term. Now we have the numerator, this term. Okay, now ys by zs. Now here ys by zs is equal to what? Is equal to 4s cube, 4s cube plus 2s minus 1. 4s cube, 4s cube plus 2s minus 1. All right. So cross multiplying ys equal to 4s cube. Uh, 4s cube zs plus 2s zs minus zs. Taking inverse Laplace transform, we have y, that is the output, is equal to 4 third derivative of z plus 2 first derivative of z minus z. ঠিক আছে, টেকিং ইনভার্স ল্যাপ্লাস ট্রান্সফর্ম, বুঝতে পেরেছো? ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে তো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
So that means is minus z plus 2z1 minus 4 sorry plus 4z3. ঠিক আছে, z মানে কত? z মানে x1 এগুলো, so this is minus x1 plus 2x2 plus 4x4. ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে, is it clear? This is
Yes sir.
clear, no? So minus x1 plus 2x2 plus 4. All right, so therefore the output equation y is equal to minus 1 2 0 4 x1 x2 x3. Clear? So this is the output equation, and this is one is the state equation. State equation. All right, this is a state equation. That is for the only for the denominator, and this is for the numerator. Is it clear? Let us consider
Yes sir.
another problem. Find the state variable representation of GS, which is given by s plus 2 by s square plus 2s plus 3. Okay, find the state variable representation of the system whose transfer function is given by s plus 2 divided by s square plus 2s plus 3. Okay, let us solve. Well, keep over. So system has a 0. System has 0. Okay, that means we have to consider a third variable. So ys by zs into zs by us is equal to s plus 2 by s square plus 2s plus 3. Okay, this is nothing but ys by output by input. Output we know represented by y and input represented by u. Output by input. So here we introduce the third variable zs. Now what is zs by us? Zs by us is the denominator, which is 1 by s square plus 2s plus 3. Okay, and what about the ys by zs? Ys by zs, so ys by zs is what? The numerator s plus
S plus 2.
now cross multiply করলে কি হবে একটু বলো? a square
A square
z
ZS plus 2 SZS plus 3 ZS.
2s zs plus 3 zs is equal to us. All right, so taking inverse Laplace transform, a square zs কি হবে? সেকেন্ড ডেরিভেটিভ অফ z, তাই তো? সেকেন্ড ডেরিভেটিভ অফ z প্লাস 2s zs কি হবে?
Z1,
dz
2Z1.
dt for z1 or dz dt, and this is 3z is equal to ut. ঠিক আছে, clear? Now in keeping the highest derivative in the left hand side, so d2z. If you have problem, then again you can write z2 also. আমি দুটোতেই করে দিচ্ছি, so this is sorry. So this is equal to minus 3z plus minus 2 dz dt plus ut. ঠিক আছে, minus 3z minus 2 dz dt plus ut. Clear? Okay, আর এখান থেকে কি পাচ্ছি? Here if you multiply, cross multiply, কি পাচ্ছি বলো? ys is equal to s zs s zs s zs plus 2
2ZS.
2 ডেজ আবার করে দিচ্ছি, ল্যাপটপ ইনভার্সটা বেশি দিচ্ছি। ঠিক আছে, so that means here y is equal to 2z plus 2z plus what? Plus what? z হবে না
Z1.
হ্যাঁ,
Z1.
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 হ্যাঁ এইটাই তো, 2z1 z1 means dz dt, আর এটা কি হবে? এটা 2 আর হবে না,
DZ.
এটা 2 আর হবে না, সিম্পল হলো s z এর আছে dz dt, আর এটা কি হবে বলো? এটা কি হবে বলো?
2Z.
2z. Very good. Now assume the state variable. Assume state variable. Assume x1 is equal to z. x2 is equal. There are two states, x and z and dz dt. ঠিক আছে. Okay. x1 equal to z, x2 equal to dz dt. So therefore, x1 dot is equal to dz dt, that is x2. x2 dot equal to what? জলদি জলদি বলো, x2 dot equal to কত? বলো।
Minus 3x1.
Minus 3x1 minus
Minus
2x2 plus u.
minus 2x2 plus u. Okay, very good. And what about y? Y is equal to 2z. 2z মানে কত? z is x1.
2x1. 2x1 plus x2.
Very good. There are three equations. Okay. So we have three equations. Okay. What are they?
স্যার একটু আগের পেজে যাবেন?
হ্যাঁ এই দেখো, x1 dot equal to x2 আমি লিখে দিচ্ছি, x1 dot equal to x2, x2 dot equal to minus 3x1 minus x2 plus u minus u and minus 2x2 আছে না, ভুল করিনি তো? না, ঠিক আছে, minus 3 to 2x2 plus u, আর এটা কি আছে বলো? and y is equal to
2x1 plus x2.
2x1 plus
x2.
Okay, তাহলে এবারে কি লিখতে পারবো? So in matrix form you can write as x1 dot x2 dot, from this two equation x1 dot x2 dot is equal to 0 1 x1 x2 plus 0 u, and x2 dot is equal to
-3 -2
-3 -2 1.
1.
0. U.
Okay, and y, what about y? Y is
Y equals to 2, 1,
2 1.
x1.
x1 x2.
Right. অলরাইট, তুই ভুল করলে আমাকে বলো বাবা, তুই ভুল করেছে কি? ঠিক
না
আছে,
স্যার।
একটা হোমওয়ার্ক দিয়ে দিই এখানেও। So we can easily represent denominator, but the problem is the numerator. Okay, এটা হোমওয়ার্ক করে নাও। Find the state variable form. Find the state variable form whose transfer function is given by gs equal to 2s cube plus 3s square plus 4s plus 5 divided by s to the power 4 plus 6 x cube plus 7 a square plus 8s plus 9. Find the state variable form whose of the system whose transfer function is given by this. Okay. Move to the most crucial part. Okay, so we know how to represent state variable. We know if the state variable representation is given, how to find transfer function. Again, if the transfer function is given, how to find its state variable. The most important thing is the solution of the state variable equation. We know ultimately we will analyze system. That means we will excite the system with input, and we have to study the output. So that means how to find the output. So that means solution of state variable equation. Okay, solution of state variable equation. There is a most important and crucial solution of SV equation, state variable equation. Okay. Now, what do you mean by output response? What do you mean by output response? You tell me. What is output response? Output response means response due to initial condition, response due to initial condition plus the response due to forcing function or due to input. Right? So for example, say we have, let us consider, say we have a simple RLC circuit. Okay, say we are exciting it with a 10-volt battery supply, 10-volt DC supply. Okay, so that means what will be the current? You can easily calculate the value of current. Say if we know the value of RLC, you can say R equal to 10 ohm, L equal to 1 Henry, L equal to 1 Henry, C equal to 1 farad. You can easily calculate the response. That means here the response that we are getting is the response due to the excitation function, or the response due to the forcing function. That is the input. Now, if the inductor is initially magnetized, if the capacitor is initially charged, so the current response will be different. So then in that case, how to proceed? That means what we'll do first, we'll first analyze the initial conditions, okay, and then we'll add with this excitation. That means the response due to initial condition, that the total response means the response due to initial condition plus the response due to input. Say for example, a mechanical system. Say we have a mechanical system. Say this is a spring, and say this is a mass. Okay. Say initially there is a force of 1 Newton. For that you will get a displacement. Okay, if we apply a 1 Newton force, so we'll get a displacement. Now we'll change the forcing function to 5 Newton. So what will be the displacement? So how to calculate the displacement? That means here the displacement is, so you have some initial displacement in this system. Okay, so that means due to that you will get a response, and due to the new input, new excitation, new mechanical force of 5 Newton. So similarly here, that means the output response means the response due to initial condition plus response due to input. Now how to find response due to initial condition? For that you set the input to 0. Okay, and how to find the input response? For that you set the initial condition to 0. Isn't it? So if you want to find the response due to initial condition, you set the forcing function, that is the input, to 0. And if you want to find the response due to input, you set the initial condition to 0. Then after that, you use superposition theorem to find the total response. The total response, that is the total response, is equal to response due to initial condition. Then response due to initial condition is called the zero input response. Because if you want to find the initial response due to initial condition, for that you have to set the input to 0. This is called zero input response. This is called zero input response. Is it clear? Zero input response. Zero input response. Okay, and what about the this response to input? For that, you have to set the initial condition to 0. It is called response zero IC response. Zero initial condition response. So total response means response to initial condition, which is also known as zero input response, and plus the response to input, which is also known as zero IC response. The total response is equal to zero input response plus zero IC response. আমি কিছু ভুল বলেছি? আমাকে ভুল বললে বলো, ধরিয়ে দাও। কিছু ভুল বলেছি?
না স্যার ঠিক আছে।
Okay, let us now calculate the zero input response. That is zero input. What do you mean by zero input response? That means response due to initial condition, right? So zero input response. This is a zero input response. Okay, now we know our state variable equation is x dot is equal to ax plus bu, and y is equal to cx plus d. All are matrix. I'm not writing this underline. You all remember all are matrix. Okay, so x dot equal to ax plus bu plus, now we have zero input. Input means u equal to 0, because input, there is no input. We are calculating the response to initial condition only. That means u equal to 0. That means x dot is equal to ax. ভুল করলে আমাকে বলো, যদি আমি ভুল করি আমাকে বলো, ধরিয়ে দাও। ঠিক আছে, x dot equal to ax. Okay, এই ইকুয়েশনে বসিয়েছি u equal to 0 because there is no input. Zero, we are calculating the response to initial condition only. That means input is 0. So that means taking Laplace transform, s xs is equal to কি হবে? a বলো কি হবে? x is equal to x0. Now there's a initial condition. Okay, we're calculating that means state, all the states. That means displacement or the velocity. Maybe there must be maybe some initial conditions. There must be initial condition in the capacitor or inductor. That means all the states may have some initial condition. So that means we know states dependent by x1, x2, x3. All the, okay, we know na. Say this is a system. The input are u1, u2, u3. They are multi-input, and outputs are y1, y2, y3, or yn are the output, and states are x1, x2, x3. States, right? So these are the states. Is it clear? So that means no, there is no input. There is no input. Input is 0. So that means there may be states are initial. There may be some initial. Initially, the states are in different position. There must be some initial condition. Okay. So that means, so we have the states are in x0 indicates that there must be some initial condition. ঠিক আছে? না, আমি এটাকে এখন করা উচিত হয়নি, পরে করছি। তাহলে এটাকে আমি এখানে করছি। বেটার হচ্ছে এটা, এখান থেকে আমি ল্যাপ্লাস ট্রান্সফর্ম নিচ্ছি, তো ল্যাপ্লাস ট্রান্সফর্ম নিয়ে নিচ্ছি। ল্যাপ্লাস ট্রান্সফর্ম মনে দেখো, ল্যাপ্লাস এখান থেকে আসতে পারি। ল্যাপ্লাস ট্রান্সফর্ম অফ df dt, হোয়াট ইজ দ্যাট? sfs মাইনাস f0, তাই না? তাই তো? দ্যাট মিন্স ল্যাপ্লাস ট্রান্সফর্ম x ডট s আমি এখানে লিখে দিচ্ছি, কোনো ঝামেলাই নেই। s xx মাইনাস xc, ঠিক আছে? ঠিক আছে তো, আমি এখানে লিখে দিলাম ইজ ইকুয়াল টু a xs। ঠিক আছে, আমি এইখান থেকে চলে এসেছি। ল্যাপ্লাস ট্রান্সফর্ম df means sfs minus f0. So that means Laplace transform of s, all are matrix, remember, s xs minus x0. Okay, equal to a xs. Now I mean this term I'm keeping in this term and bringing this term in here. So that means xss minus a xs is equal to x0. Okay, where x0 denotes the initial state, initial conditions. Now if you take xs common, কি পাবো বলো? xs common নিলে বলো,
s minus
s এস মাইনাস এ না, এস আই আমি বলছি অলার ম্যাট্রিক্স,
xi minus
এস আই মাইনাস এ এক্স এস ইজ ইকুয়াল টু এক্স জিরো, তাই তো? সো দ্যাট মিনস এক্স এস ইজ ইকুয়াল টু এস আই মাইনাস এ অলার ম্যাট্রিক্স ইনভার্স এক্স জিরো। ঠিক আছে? Now we'll find the solution due to the initial condition. So taking the Laplace inverse, so Laplace inverse of xs is xt, okay, which will be the Laplace inverse of si minus a inverse xc. ঠিক আছে? All are matrix, remember, all are matrix. ওখান থেকে ম্যাট্রিক্স লিখেই দিই। All are matrix. Okay? Here si minus a. What will be the Laplace inverse of this? Is a constant. Initial condition x0 is constant. So what will be the Laplace inverse of si minus a inverse? কত হবে? আমরা জানি Laplace transform of s by a কত হয়? Laplace inverse of e to the power at, তাই না? এটা হয় তো Laplace inverse of a 1 by s minus a. This is also 1 by s minus a, but here it is a matrix. So here it will be e to the power at. Here a is a matrix. Is it clear? We know
sir.
Laplace inverse of 1 by s minus a is to the power at. Is in similar logic. Here this is 1 by si minus si. I means identity matrix, you know. So it will be e to the power at, but only difference is a here. This is a matrix. So the response, state response due to initial condition, is e to the power at x0. Now what is e to the power at? Remember, e to the power at is known as is one Laplace inverse of si minus a. I is the identity matrix, you know. So this is called state transition matrix. E to the power at is called state transition matrix. The trace transition matrix. Okay. State transition matrix. Is it clear? So the response due to initial condition is e to the power at x0. Please remember, response due to initial condition is e to the power at x0. All right. So in the next class, we'll discuss the response due to input. This is the response due to initial condition, zero input response. This was due to initial condition. কিছু ভুল করলে আমাকে বলো, বলো কি করেছি। Zero input response, that is the response due to IC condition. IC লিখে দিই, IC response, initial condition response. বুঝেছো? x dot এখানে ইউটাকে 0 করে দিয়েছি, ল্যাপ্লাস ইনভার্স নিয়েছি, এই ফর্মুলা ইউজ করেছি, টেকিং কমন। Okay, so response due to initial condition is this. Okay, the next class we'll discuss zero IC response. Okay, then we'll find the total response. Okay, that's it.